New Zealand on top as we head into the second day of the Boxing Day test here in our Cricket 19 playthrough. Of course, I'm playing as Australia and New Zealand at the end of day one on this road of an MCG pitch. 3 for 370 at the moment. Tom Latham at the crease on 146 not out. Henry Nicholls at the other end on 18 not out after a very eventful... Oh, there's some overthrows. Not the perfect way for Australia to start, but Latham will pick up his 150 very early on the second day's play. It's been a great knock. He's been there for the entirety of that opening day, and now to begin the second day as well. He's putting himself to good use. And as we were saying, New Zealand dominant on the opening day's play. It was a hot day. It was 35 degrees. I think it's going to be similar weather today. This one is up in the air, but just straight off the pad, I think, from Latham, as Pat Cummins looks to get an early breakthrough for Australia. This new ball, just 11 overs old, and hasn't done a heap. So Australia be desperate for a breakthrough at some stage this morning. They've had only the 3 wickets in the opening day, and I think one of them was a run out as well, so it wasn't like a big day in terms of the bowlers. It was all the batsmen, really, who put everything to good use. James Pattinson bowled and toiled away without scoring, without getting any wickets, as the 400 is up for the Kiwis, and that is a quality drive from Nicholls. Through point, that'll be 4. It's Pat Cummins unable to really deliver too much. Nathan Lyon has a wicket to his name. I think Mitchell Starc has the other wicket. Of course, there was a run out there, was our third wicket. So Cummins and Pattinson without wickets. Labuschagne also bowled well yesterday without reward. Was probably one of the more economical Australian bowlers that really allowed to put pressure on the Kiwi batsmen. But for the most part, it's been an absolute riot from a New Zealand point of view. And this one over the top from Nicholls, that'll be 4 more. And you just look at that run rate and you see 4.25. It's been a hell of an effort. And the 100th over will end. New Zealand will be 3 down for 428, I think. Or they're going to run 4, I think, to make this 429 at the end of 100 overs. It's been an incredible performance by them so far. And the Aussies just desperate for a wicket. And they've got it. In the most bizarre dismissal you might ever see. Nathan Lyon has the breakthrough for Australia. It's Henry Nicholls who's going to go. Yes, I think it's Henry Nicholls. He edges this ball into the gloves of Tim Payne. It rebounds through the air and Labuschagne is able to take the catch. Nicholls goes for 40. New Zealand 4 for 429. Wicketkeeper BJ Watling to the crease. So, can that be the start for Australia? Can they get a few more wickets? There's a bit of a shout here, but for no real reason whatsoever. You see Latham's the key man to get rid of. He's on 177. He's been the leading run scorer all tournament. Well, in the first test, he made a 150 as well. So this is back-to-back hundreds for him. Labuschagne bowling now. And he's got him. Our cameraman seems to have sneezed, because we didn't quite catch what actually happened, so we'll have to go to a different angle on the replay to find out what actually happened here. As Labuschagne gets the wicket of Tom Latham. Oh, he's just edged it through to Tim Payne, I think, trying to maybe work it down and cut it away, but Latham goes for 179. 2 quick ones for Australia. A couple of quick wickets. Colin de Grandhomme coming out to the middle. New Zealand 5 for 445. Putting on a very big score here. Australia going to need to really bat for a long period of time to get themselves even close to this total. I wonder whether New Zealand will consider declaring at some stage today if they manage to bat out the next couple of sessions. I wonder what will be a big enough score for them. 550, 600. Is that going to be enough to declare, or are they just going to settle for, you know, just bat and bat and bat and bat, and then you only have to bowl once, or you only have to bat once? So Sorry, because obviously the weather is going to cool down over the next couple of days as well, so that'll make it easier for the bowlers. Oh, there's a wicket. And it's a no ball. So Pat Cummins gets the outside edge for the second time in this innings. It is a no ball. Cummins none for 100, brings up his ton. And it's the ton you don't want. Oh dear. And he's done it in 21 overs too, so he's been expensive as well. A lot of the Aussie bowlers have. After 21 overs, Cummins none for 105. Meanwhile, Pattinson, 30 overs, none for 148. He has toiled very hard without reward, and that's something you didn't expect from James Pattinson, obviously coming in for Josh Hazlewood as we head to the break here. But Jimmy Pattinson, obviously an MCG bowler in the Sheffield Shield, bowls a lot for Victoria in the Sheffield Shield here at the MCG. But as you can see, New Zealand 5 for 483 after 116 overs. Latham finally dismissed by Labuschagne, caught Payne. And Nathan Lyon getting the other wicket, caught by Marnus Labuschagne. But it's pretty much been like all edges, I suppose, the dismissals from a bowling point of view. The other one being a run out. And at the moment, Watling and de Grandhomme in at the middle. So that one bounced after the edge. It was a big full toss there from Cummins. Can't get a breakthrough as Stark and Cummins, they've battled hard. Obviously didn't really, they bowled very well in that Perth test, but they've struggled here in Melbourne. Just a one wicket between them. This time Cummins, he's got Watling. Just a little bit of nip off the seam, I think it might have been, to grab the outside edge. Doesn't have to deviate a lot, just enough. And BJ Watling going to go for New Zealand. There you go. You can see just a faint edge through to Tim Payne. So the Australians, they've stuck with that length. Eventually it creates a wicket. And BJ Watling goes for 21. New Zealand 6 for 492. Mitchell Santner now out to the middle. And Australia will maybe have a little bit of confidence at the moment. A little bit of momentum. They've taken 3 wickets relatively quickly as de Grandhomme continues to just power the ball away. He's on 44 at the moment, so he's doing a very nice job there as well. Really keeping the run rate ticking over for New Zealand. They're still going at over 4 and over. It's slowly decreasing. Edge. And taken. So Mitch Santner will go now. Australia get wicket number 7. It's Mitchell Stark who does it. They've bowled much better today, Australia. Well, that one, quite strange. It's sort of hitting about 5th stump on the onside as Sanders managed to edge it to about 4th slip on the offside. So he goes for 1. New Zealand 7 for 504. Neil Wagner to the crease. I wonder if the short ball option will be on here. Pattinson in to bowl. None for 149 for Jimmy Pattinson. He's toiled hard. Now that'll make it none for 150. There's a no ball there as well as this one going down the ground as de Grandhomme continues to keep that scoreboard ticking over. He's on 48 now. Really performing. Oh, that is a good delivery from Mitchell Stark. I've no idea how it hasn't grabbed the outside edge. De Grandhomme here looking for 2 more. That'll be a half century for him as he picks up that 2. 7 for 515, the Kiwis. Very good innings from Colin de Grandhomme. He came in and he's just made a quick 550. There was not too much that needed to be done, but he's done it. This one edged from him and out. So Mitchell Stark dismisses him shortly after he gets the half century. Goes for 56 from 66. Mitchell Stark gets his 3rd wicket. A really good catch by Tim Payne. Behind the stumps, diving away to his left. You don't expect the inside edge that often. But just good movement, well balanced as he took off for the leap. 8 for 522. Australia hoping to be in now fairly soon. I don't want to toil away too much longer. They've got the tail enders left in Southey and Wagner. Getting rid of them. Obviously their number 1 priority. Wagner has just driven that off the back foot. Beautifully for 4. I guess the other thing here for the Aussie bowlers is they want to make sure the batsmen bat long enough to give him a rest. They don't want to be out there again. Edge taken. Cummins has another. Southey's out for 4. New Zealand 9 down. There'll be Trent Bolt coming in next for the Kiwis. Won't see review here, surely. I thought so there. No, inside edge. Tim Payne accepts the catch. Australia get wicket number 9. It's been a hard-fought innings. Only the 3 wickets on day 1. They've taken the 6 already on day 2. As we're about close to halfway through the day, I think. Bowled 43 overs today. 43.3 overs today, that is. Trent Bolt out in the middle there with Neil Wagner trying to get some bonus runs, I suppose, for New Zealand. Obviously, we thought a declaration might come at 550. They're currently on 538. Nathan Lyon back into the attack. Looking for his 3rd wicket. Just a few dots in a row, and this time gets the edge. So he built the pressure, got the wicket. New Zealand all out for 538. It was an epic innings by Tom Latham. He made 179 from 333 deliveries. The lone centurion there for the Kiwis. Ross Taylor, Jeet Raval and Colin de Grandhomme with half centuries. Their name, obviously, Jeet Raval. 91 from 95. A quick fire 91, but he was the first to go. That opening partnership, 157. And after they were 3 for God knows how much, maybe 3 for 350, I think, at stumps on day 1, Australia got them all out for 538 here on day 2. Yep. Warner looks to get off the mark. Oh, just gets there safely for 1. Now another boundary from David Warner. I think he's already hit 1 today, unless it's just been a bunch of 2s. It probably has just been singles and 2s, or 7 from 12. It's been a slow start from Australia. Obviously, we saw Jeet Raval for New Zealand took the game to the Aussies early and obviously hit 91 from 95. So he was a real powerhouse. I wonder if Warner will look to replicate that type of innings and really apply some scoreboard pressure here. Of course, the other thing for Australia, they don't want to lose too many wickets. Obviously, 530, it's a lot of runs. Seen the Australians go at just over maybe 3.5 run rate over that Perth Test match. So that would be almost a day and a half's worth of batting if they are to catch up to this New Zealand score of 530. And they've started pretty well here. David Warner, 16 from 24. Joe Burns is going at more than a run a ball. So both these guys playing reasonably attacking innings. They're none for 34. And they're going at basically a run a ball to start this off. Is this the way forward for Australia? Especially in a match where they need a lot of runs. They don't need them quickly, but they need them eventually. So why not get them now, I suppose, is the mentality from an Australian point of view. As David Warner again works this to the onside. There's just a big gap out there that the Kiwis have left, and he's happy to pick up an extra 4 runs. Again, just onto that onside. They've kept that gap open. Obviously, they've got 500 runs to play with, but if they're going to bowl that straight line, the Kiwis, they can't afford to be putting the ball in that area. They're going to need to force Warner to play through the offside. Maybe leave a gap open over there. See if they can get him driving through that zone. Again, short, but it's straight, so it's just easy for Warner to tuck away to the onside. That'll be the 50 partnership up between Burns and Warner. So pick up 2 more. And it's been a quick fire 50 partnership inside the 9th over. It's taken them 53 deliveries to get that opening 50. Well, that's close. Beat the bat there, Southey. What does de Grandhomme have? Again, 2 straight. They've left mid on open as well. That's probably where they want them to drive, but both these guys happy to work it off the hip for a couple of runs as they continue to keep the score going at a pretty reasonable rate. It's been going at about a run a ball so far. And again, Burns just working it to the leg side. It's down to mid-wicket and it's going to be 4. So the run rate is above 6 in a test. in these first 12 overs. Or first 12 overs. 10 overs? I think it's 10 overs. 12 overs. And Australia survived that little period before the tea break here on day 2. None for 67. Obviously, Joe Burns, 28 from 32. David Warner, 37. A couple of extras in there, just a wide and a leg bye. So Australia with another 30 overs to navigate through maybe the most treacherous bowling period of the day. Clouds starting to come out at the G. Starting to get a little bit overcast as the sun takes a little bit less of an effect. As these guys continue to put some runs on the board. That's a good pull shot from Burns, who's now overtaken Warner in the run stakes. But it's just been a good start from Australia. They want to finish the day well. If they can go to stumps none down, that would be the ideal scenario. Probably wouldn't want to go more than 3 down at stumps, especially with still 450 behind the Kiwis to pick up tomorrow. As Joe Burns works this through the offside. It's a good back foot drive. Is it going to the rope? It's going to get close. It gets there, and that'll be 50 for Joe Burns. He started today really well. 5 boundaries, 62 balls. It's been reasonably attacking 50 as well. As David Warner replies with a cutaway to the offside of his own. So he'll pick up just the 2. None for 98. Australia looking for that 100-run opening stand that we know Burns and Warner have done so well. This is a no ball. They're going to run through for a single as well. So that's the 100 partnership up. 23.2 overs. Run rate's just dipped a little bit after the tea break. I think we've seen Australia go into more of a survival mode now than piling on runs. They just wanted to put a little bit of pressure, I suppose, on the New Zealand bowlers early, and then they could really settle into their groove and play out the rest of the day as David Warner looks to pick up 3 runs and his own half century here. So both these openers now on 50. 6 4s for David Warner. Lots of hard running with 2s and 3s. None for 119. Driving that one through the offside. Waiting on and getting it through the gap as they pick up just another one. None for 120. New Zealand's bowled a little bit better since tea. They've really forced the Aussies to play, and this time a wicket falls. It's Joe Burns. Through the bowling of Trent Boult. I think it's hit his elbow and deflected on to the stumps. A little unlucky of a dismissal for Joe Burns, but we've seen some strange dismissals throughout this series already. Deflections off every part of the body onto the stumps, and this time it's Burns. Goes for 56. Marnus Labuschagne into the middle. Lots of work for him to do now. He's already playing at that one outside the off stump. And I suppose that's a little bit disappointing for Joe Burns. Played it maybe off the wrong line a little bit. Didn't, maybe it was the wrong length, I suppose. Oh, no, it's definitely the wrong line because it missed the bat. Maybe there's a little bit of movement. Maybe the angle across from Trent Boult deceived him. But he's one of those players, Joe Burns, likes to get bat on ball, likes to make sure that he is, always feeling for the ball. So that's where he can get caught sometimes at balls he can leave outside the off stump, playing at them and really hurting himself. That's a big shout. I think you'll find it pitched outside the leg stump there from Mitchell Santner. No review by the Kiwis. Warner pulls this away. That's 4. Found the gap on the onside. I think the other thing you can look at here is Australia, I think mentally... Oh, gee, that's a strange shot. But I think mentally you can see that this start is giving them confidence. That's 150 up for them. And that lead of New Zealand's is below 400. So mentally they can look towards tomorrow going, hey, we're less than 400 behind. At the moment, we're only 384 behind. We're only 1 down as well. So if they can keep that going into tomorrow, they'll be in for, really positive signs for the Aussies. Edge and gone. Labuschagne, unfortunately, dismisses himself with a little tickle Through to BJ Watling. He'll contemplate talking to Warner, but he knows he's hit it. There was some bat involved. Labuschagne goes for 14. Australia 2 for 154. Nathan Lyon, the night watchman, coming out to the middle. Of course, there's only maybe, 6 overs to go maximum today. So send in the night watchman Lyon. He survived 1 delivery so far, but meanwhile Warner, he's not going to stop just because we're close to the end of the day's play. He's going to keep going about his business. This might be the last over of the day, or the second last over, I'm not too sure, but don't have too much longer left. Warner comes back for 2. Maybe he wants to get 100 by the end of the day, but I think this is the last ball. Oh, it's a full toss. Can't put it away. No, it's not the last ball. Second last ball. It's the last over of the day. So Warner on 84. 2 for 162. Australia. Leading edge. Doesn't carry through to mid-on. So that'll be the end of day 2. 40 overs have gone. Australia 2 for 162. David Warner and Nathan Lyon out in the middle. The night watchman's done his job. He survived the night. Only had to face the 1 ball there, Nathan Lyon. But Australia trailing by 376, 2 for 162. We saw plenty of wickets fall today. We saw 9 of them, in fact. Mitchell Starc and Nathan Lyon, 3 for 93 each for Australia. Pat Cummins took 2 for 118. Labuschagne with a wicket to his name as well. Unfortunately, Pattinson didn't get one. And Australia came in a bat late on day 2 as well. 2 for 162. Mitchell Santner and Trent Bolt, the wicket takers. David Warner at the crease, 85. 84 not out, with Joe Burns' 56. But here's those Australian wickets. Obviously, Joe Burns bowled there. And then I suppose we'll keep going on a bit of the highlights. But that's the end of day 2. Australia trailing by a lot. They've got plenty of work to do. Lyon and Warner at the middle. What have they got on day 3? Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.